Welcome back to the Ekkocast, where we have various athletes from the Ekkovision team on, and we just discuss life, liberty, and the pursuit of... No, I'm just kidding. We just discuss things that those people are interested in, give you a bit of insight into who they are, what they believe, how they go about things, and hopefully you guys actually learn something along the way. So I'm here with Dev. He goes by Devlifts on... Do you on both TikTok and Instagram?
Yeah, Devlifts.
On both TikTok and Instagram. If you don't know this already, Dev has some of the biggest legs you have ever seen in your life. The calves, the quads, oh my gosh. But I gotta stop fantasizing.
Thank you.
Regardless, let us get right into what makes Dev who Dev is. So, obviously, first off, how old are you?
I just turned 21 like 4 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah, I knew you were pretty young, but I wasn't sure if it was like 20, 23. I mean, you have a bit of an older look. Okay, so you're very young. Obviously, 5 years ago, 16 in high school. What is sort of the overall fitness belief or background that you had back then, as far as like how different is it from what it is today?
I would say back then I used to do so much more volume than I used to do now.
Were you still lifting hard at that point?
I still lifted pretty intensely, but not nearly as intense as I do now. But yeah, back then I used to do like 20 sets per muscle group per day.
Was it solely for the purpose of sports? Because I know you have an athletic background, or was it or were you actually trying to see if you could get bigger biceps? You know,
It's a little bit of both, mainly for sports. I feel like a lot of younger people in sports think that they need a bunch of volume, so they just do a bunch of junk volume. But
fair. Squat, bench, deadlift,
yeah,
to infinity.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Do you think? Okay, this is a pretty contentious one because like a lot of the bros will argue this. Do you think that science-based lifting, as it stands, has helped the average individual more or hindered the average individual more?
I think a little bit of both. I feel like at the start it helped a lot, but I feel like at this point it's starting to get like a little too far.
No,
if that makes sense.
I am actually 100% on the same page.
Yeah.
And most of the reason that I believe that is because I think a lot of the things that are being said now, that are being proposed, aren't really science-based.
That's true.
They're more so bringing together a bunch of ideas and then coming up with a conclusion that isn't necessarily something that has been ratified fully. So no, I actually agree with you 100%. I think in the early stages, understanding biomechanics, understanding what's actually hitting what, intensity, volume, these types of things. But once you get to a certain point, you're almost looking for issues.
True. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But I have a question that I think is interesting because everybody has a different answer on it.
Okay.
What is the most overrated lift in the gym?
I feel like every lift has their place. The first thing that comes to mind is just a Keenan flap, because I feel like people think that it's just like significantly better than something like a pull down when it's really not like that much. Like it might be better, but it's not like that much better than.
Yeah, the thing that I've always found with Keenan flaps is they're really good when the load is lighter.
Yeah, true.
And then as you get stronger, as you try to progress it,
Yeah.
if you don't make a bunch of adjustments to make sure that you're being pinned down fully,
Yeah.
it can get really unstable really
That was
fast.
the problem I had when I tried to progress it.
Yeah, and if you're not wanting to do like 20, 30, 40 reps, then it can be pretty... No, that I actually 100% agree with that. And again, like not that it's a bad exercise
Yeah, it's
or
not
anything.
bad.
It's
Overrated
just-
doesn't mean bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
No, I that's if you'd asked me the same question, I probably would have answered with the same
That's
thing.
just the first thing that came to mind, but
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes, especially, I mean, being in the science-based lifting sphere, you can't be there without hearing about a Keenan flap.
true. That is true.
All right. So TikTok, obviously, well, the first time I met you, you were kind of on the way up, but you weren't really sure exactly what you wanted things to be as far as TikTok goes. I don't think you were doing it full time at that point either, right?
Not yet. No.
Okay. But let's get away from like the whole like financial side of it, anything. How about just physique wise? If TikTok disappeared, do you think that your physique would become better or worse? So like having eyes on you versus not having eyes on you.
A little bit of both. I feel like I have to have a good physique for social media, so I feel like it keeps me like a little more disciplined. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes I will like sacrifice my form to like show for the camera, like try to show that I'm strong for the camera, and then I don't get as many like as effective sets just because I'm trying to look stronger than I am.
See, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because I think there's other people that have done the opposite.
Really?
Where I'm not you obviously, but I think there's other people that have legitimately stopped themselves from pushing themselves hard.
That's true. Yeah.
Because they want to make sure that the form looks so good on camera that I'll see them stop a set and I'll just think, I get it, you want to have good form and everything, but it doesn't look like you actually pushed it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
No, it's
I feel like, I've gotten a little bit better, but yeah, there was one point where I was just starting to ego lift a little too bad just for the camera.
oh yeah,
So,
that
I'll admit
whole debacle. Okay, run us through that. How did that start? What happened?
With the T-bar row, specifically, that's what you're talking about, I'm assuming.
Of course.
So I was just so stuck on like preaching progressive overload because that was like the main thing at that time. Well, it still is, but that was like the biggest like trend in the science-based niche, I guess. And then I was just like, I felt like I had to progress so much every single session just for the camera, just to like prove that.
Sorry, we had a bit of a technical difficulty in case there's a weird glitch here. But the whole ego lifting debacle, what started that? How'd that go? Like, just run us through that.
So I was so set on preaching progressive overload at the time that I was like sacrificing my form to add more weight, like add 5 or 10 pounds every single time I hit that movement. And I would just slightly, every session, my form would get a little bit worse. And then at some point, it was just awful. And then I tried to like justify it, but I don't even know what I was. I don't know.
I see. I saw a couple people talk about it. Who are the main people that made? Because like, I think some people made videos on it and stuff like that. Who was it that was going after that the most?
I know Ryan Jewers did. I actually used to really like Ryan Jewers. I mean, I still do, but Ryan Jewers did. Sebastian Burka did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I didn't realize Burka did.
Yeah, he actually made a different video about my chest presses too.
Probably about rib compression or something like that. Yeah.
There's a few creators. I know Booney Badger did.
Booney made a video on you?
Yeah, but that was before I even knew him.
Really?
Yeah.
But now you're best buds, right?
Yeah, we're pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, there was a few people. I can't even remember all of them, but it's a valid like.
I think even Beardsley brought it up the other day, right?
In a podcast. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy that one thing could just blow up so much. And it's such a small, like, okay, I shouldn't say small thing. Obviously, we want you guys to have good form when you're lifting and everything. But for one person and one specific lift to become such a big topic, that's crazy.
At least I took accountability and admitted I was wrong and fixed it.
That's one of those things that I think often I've seen people fight tooth and nail against things where they're clearly wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a big part of it that they feel like they lose a sense of authority if they admit that they're wrong on something or have been wrong on something in the past. Yeah. And so often people will tell me, they'll say, but you said this before. I'm like, yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And they're shocked. They're shocked when I say that. They're like, but I'm like, no, I was wrong. Like, I'm no ifs, ands, or buts. I was wrong about that. And they think that immediately they'll lose the respect of their audience.
That's what I thought at first.
Yeah, exactly. But what happens is you actually gain more
respect. Yeah.
100%. So if you can just let that go, your audience is going to be more likely to trust you and more like, because if you're arguing something where you're clearly wrong.
Yeah. Just makes you look dumb.
But I remember because we got a lift together shortly after there had been a decent amount of that stuff, and your form looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So like clearly things were going well.
So good thing they made the videos.
Yeah. Otherwise you'd be doing an entire stack and just.
Man, I don't know.
All right.
Bad.
But moving past that, because like obviously there you were willing to change. Yeah. what's a hill that you would continue to die on that you don't think, or not that it's not that like nobody believes it, but like something that you think that you're kind of opposed to a general trend that you see, but you would die on that hill currently.
I don't even know at this point. I feel like some people are still like against low volume. I guess like that's the first thing that comes to mind, and I would.
I guess we'd have to define our terms though. What do you classify as low?
I would say 2 sets per muscle, about 2 sets per muscle per day. So about or 4 to 6 sets per muscle group per week.
What general split do you run?
It's kind of a joke. I really don't stick to one split.
Okay,
I guess that's one thing I stand on is that your split really doesn't matter. It's really just frequency.
Okay.
So
Well, like let's say a typical week. Are you more of an upper lower
upper, lower,
type guy?
yeah.
Okay. So it's not that like necessarily your split is changing like crazy.
Nah, not. I mean, I did anterior posterior for a while too, just
Okay.
to bring in my upper body. But
So what's your thoughts on rest days versus non-rest days? Because I know some people are like, okay, well you have to have a minimum of 3 rest days a week. What's your mentality towards it?
I used to really like prioritize rest days, but now I'm kind of like changing my stance on that. I feel like if you're ready to train the next day, then I feel like it'd be fine to go train. Like, if that makes sense. Like, if you feel ready, like you feel like you can go in the gym and progress, then like just go do it.
I have really struggled to understand why people think that your body can't adapt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Now, I'm not saying that there's not a possibility that you're doing equal work, right? Like maybe if you go in 5 or 6 days a week, maybe you're not getting an additional benefit.
Yeah.
But for it to be a major detractor, I haven't seen that with myself or the people that I've worked with.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, somebody has a very stressful lifestyle. They don't get much sleep and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, like these people probably should not be in the gym 6 days a week. Like they need some additional time to let their body recuperate and stuff like that. But the people who have things on point, diet-wise, sleep-wise, I haven't really seen an issue with them going 5 or 6 days a week.
Yeah, I used to do, I mean, even at one point I was doing 3 days a week, full body. And now I'm usually around 6 days a week. And I really don't see like crazy difference. Like, maybe I'm a little less recovered, but not like a crazy difference as much as I.
And you're still able to progress
I'm
and
still
everything.
progressing. So.
And that's one of the, a lot of times I'll have people come to me and they'll say, am I doing this wrong? Am I doing this wrong? And they're always worried about what they're doing wrong rather than what they're doing right. Yeah. And the question I always come back to, and I was talking with this with Nuno and Jacob earlier, the question I always come back to is, are you seeing progression?
Yeah.
And they're like,
That's
yeah.
right,
And I'm like, okay, so if you're seeing progression, then sure, you might have a few individual variables wrong, or it's not as quite as good as it could be. But ultimately, you got an entire life ahead of you.
True.
So if you're still seeing progress, if you don't have every single variable perfectly set, when you see yourself stall out, when you see things not progressing, it's like, okay, now let's examine a little bit closer what could be an issue.
Yeah. A lot of people will DM me and ask me stuff about rest days and their splits, and I'll ask them, like, are you progressing? Like, do you think you can progress? And that's just what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Nope, 100% agree. There's a lot of people out there who they'll worry about all these little details for somebody else. Meanwhile, that person is lifting 2-3 times the weight they are, is 2 to 3 times their size. Like I think they've done okay up to this point.
Yeah, true.
And that's even without gear, because often people go, oh, well, they're on gear. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about natural athletes who have spent time with decently stable, heavy lifting over long periods of time, progressing. Like you get, I shouldn't name names, because if I name somebody, the people will say, oh, that guy's a fake natural or something like that. But it's plenty of people have done it and done it well.
Yeah.
So now, because people used to ask me this, and I would say, I would kind of give a cop-out answer. They would say, why do you go to the gym 6 days a week? And I'd just be like, oh, it's just because I'm obsessed with the gym. It's like and I'd be like, don't worry about it. Maybe it's not optimal, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I think I'm doing just as well as I would if I was going 4 or 5. But for yourself, do you view yourself as disciplined when it comes to gym, diet, and stuff like that? Or would it be more of an obsession that has you going back?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty disciplined, but it is kind of an obsession. Like, the gym is really one of my only hobbies, like I was telling you. And also, going to the gym more as a content creator, like, it's just more content, like, more clips to use, more videos, more times going live in the gym, you know what I mean? So,
It really is a job.
yeah, it is. So,
No, I've always found it funny because I'll be in the gym 5, 6 days a week, sometimes even 7 days a week. You need to take a
Yeah.
rest day, and I'm like, I don't know if need is the right word, but
could benefit probably, but
yeah, exactly. But it's like I enjoy it, and it's good for work and
Yeah.
everything. And obviously, not everybody their job is the gym,
yeah.
but the idea of only being in the gym 3 or 4 days a week to me, that's tough.
Yeah, the only time I did was because I was on prep last year and I was just exhausted. So,
Right. And one of the things that people often talk about is what keeps you going, what keeps you motivated, what keeps you hungry.
Yeah.
And just to be honest, 3 days in the gym, 4 days in the gym doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I like going more.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. Now, obviously, you've never done a bodybuilding show, right?
Not yet.
Okay. So you're planning on competing this year.
Yeah.
You'll be competing in a natural competition, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Do you ever have any plans later that you know of right now to go enhanced, or are you just gonna try and be the best natural bodybuilder you can be?
I used to always say that I'll 100% be on gear one day, but the older I get, the more I think about it, the more I think that I might just stay natural. Just because, for one, the health risks, of course, but I feel like if I hop on, like, you're just another guy on gear. And it's like, I feel like people invalidate your physique and what you have to say if you're enhanced. And I feel like if I stay natural, I feel like I can really be like, it probably sounds crazy, but I feel like I can be like one of the biggest and strongest naturals like out there. Like,
Well, you said 21, right?
yeah,
I mean, you're 21 and you're already outlifting
yeah,
the majority of guys who have been natural into their 30s.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it probably sounds crazy, but it's really not. Like, I could be one of the biggest, strongest naturals there is.
By the way, this isn't me saying that I am 100% vouching for his natural status because, as you guys know, I don't do that anymore. Because I found that what would happen is if I ever said that I thought somebody was natural, but the person I was talking to didn't, they immediately would start questioning me as a person.
Really?
And I'm like, I mean, no, I could be wrong, but at the end of the day, it's like, if I see it as attainable, I'll let you know. If I see it as not attainable, I'll tell you no. So if 5 years down the road, you're a 31 FFMI, I'm probably going to say he's lying. But as of now, obviously, your legs being a strong point brings that overall number up. Your strength matches what you're overall lifting. Like a lot of now I'm basically just vouching. Regardless, your physique is very impressive.
Thank you. Has that happened where you called someone natural and they came out to be fake?
So I don't think there's ever been a time where there's been people who I have said are natural who have come out enhanced later, but not
Exposed?
not
Yeah.
exposed. Not they were unnatural when I said it.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be somebody back in the day that you guys are going to be like, oh, well, you said that they were natural, and they'll be exposed at some point, and they'll be like,
probably.
you were covering for them, and I'm like, no, I could not care less.
Yeah.
I could not care less. But there's just such a massive gap between the abilities of people to grow muscle that I think people don't understand that somebody has to be at the top.
Yeah.
And so it's like I've had people even take a look at me and say, okay, well, you're like a top tier natural.
Yeah.
And I would say more so than be like, just if I took a look at my overall circumstances growing up and I took a look at the people around me who started lifting at similar times to me, we did similar things. There was no, oh, he's way up here relative to these guys. I just stayed with it.
Yeah. True.
Right? I'm 31. I don't even know my own age. That's crazy. I'm 31. And it's like I didn't start getting any accusations until I was like 25 or 26.
Really?
It's like, so clearly there's other people who are going to be in that
Yeah.
next bracket.
That's true.
But-
I've gotten quite a few
Oh, I mean,
accusations.
obviously. Yeah, I've gotten quite a few. Yes, of course you have.
It's a compliment, I guess, but
No, I've always said if you truly are natural and you've dedicated yourself towards building your physique and people say you're unnatural, it's like they don't know you.
Yeah.
They don't know anything about you, your morals, your ethics. So if you know that you are natural and other people are accusing you, it is only a compliment.
yeah.
But obviously, the people who are probably going to be the most angry about getting those are the people who have
True.
something to hide.
That's true. Yeah, it's a compliment. It just gets to a point where it's like you're just calling me a liar.
Yeah,
Then
that's
it's
the
like disrespectful. Yeah.
and that's where I've always said if somebody knows me and says it, then I would have
Yeah,
an
true.
issue.
That's true.
Like somebody who knows me inside and out, like we're friends and everything, and they're like, yeah, like he's a. Then I would think, okay, there's something about my moral character, my moral fiber, that these people have decided, okay, I don't even trust this guy as a person.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's when it would be truly insulting.
And everyone that knows me thinks I'm natural. I think
It's yeah, I don't think I don't think it's one of those things where you can. I don't think you can make a clear delineation as to the exact point at which somebody must be enhanced versus natural. And so what happens often is people will bring up things like fat-free mass index. And I think there is validity to that, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
For those of you who don't know what the fat-free mass index was, it was a study that essentially took a look at heights of individuals relative to their overall muscle mass. And they kind of came up with an overall system for quantifying it. And typically what they found was people who were enhanced above or somewhere around like 25 to 26 is where they had their top naturals. And then once you got above that, it was pretty much only the enhanced people that were reaching those numbers. And so what that's led people to say is, okay, so if you have a 26 FMI, you're lying.
Yeah.
And which doesn't make any sense because if you base it off the data set, then obviously there could be people outside of that data set who could go above. But the way you can think of it is this. For anybody who's actually curious about this, I'm probably rambling about something you're not even interested in. The way you can think of it is this. Probability, right? If somebody has a 20 FMI, it's a more likely probability that that person is natural than if they have a 21 FMI, than if they have a 22. And so at some point, you're going to get to a point where the chances that that person is natural if they're a 35 FMI is, in my opinion, 0.
Yeah.
33, in my opinion, still 0, right? But then there's going to be a point as you get closer to that 25 to 26 number where everybody's going to have their own kind of cutoff. But at the end of the day, you will not know unless you actually test that individual and find stuff through their system.
Yeah.
But
It's true.
no, it's I'm very, very curious because there are guys like yourself who, like now that you're saying it, have dedicated themselves to, you know what, I think I'm going to stay natural. So I'm curious as to what year 25 looks like, year 26, year 27. Yeah. But it's an interesting prospect for me. But at the same time, guys, again, I will never vouch for somebody's natural status unless I am that person. I'm the only one I can vouch for.
True.
Same thing goes for you, right?
Yeah.
But no, your strength numbers are something that is seriously impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
You lifted with Trell the other day.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was pretty humbling. I actually didn't really know anyone stronger than me that was also natural until I lifted with him, and then he just did a lot more than me.
He has some crazy numbers.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I remember the first time I saw him in the gym, everybody had been hyping him up. I hadn't really watched any of his content.
Yeah.
And I saw him over at a chest press machine. It was an Atlantis plate loaded. And I looked at what he was doing on the chest press, and he was doing it very easily. And I looked at it, and in my head, I'm just doing the math, and I'm thinking, either that machine is a lot lighter than I remember it, or that guy is ridiculously strong. Yeah. So I just walked over, and I was like, hey, you mind if I try this out? Just out of curiosity. Stapled. I got under it, went to push, and it did not budge. It wasn't even like it got off the thing. It just didn't move at all.
That is crazy. Yeah, I was going live one time. I was on the hammer strength shoulder press doing. I had 5.5 plates on there, I think, and someone told me. I said, "Have you seen Trell Bankston? He did 7 plates on it." And I was like, "No, he didn't." Like I thought they were joking.
Right.
And then I looked it up, and he actually did. And I was like, "Okay, well he's not natural." So
Yeah.
then he was natural. So like.
The thing is, like, even my
ridiculous.
even my best lifts, so like SLDLs is something that I do pretty well with. I remember he decided that he was going to start doing SLDLs, and when he decided that he was going to start doing it, he was just tossing around 5 plates on his first time doing it, and I'm like, this is just not fair.
It's crazy.
No, it's there's levels to this.
It really is.
I think he should go into strongman,
Yeah, you should.
to be honest, because he keeps talking about wanting to do bodybuilding. I think he should go into
Yeah,
strongman.
and anything like even powerlifting, like he
Yep,
should.
he could put up some crazy numbers.
Yeah.
As far as getting away from the conversations about whether you specifically are natural versus enhanced, do you think that people being open about their gear usage in the fitness industry, because obviously that's been more common, do you think that that's a net positive for the industry, or do you think it's just led to a lot of other issues?
I would say it's a little bit of both. Like, I feel like it makes people want to hop on more. Like if you look up to someone and they hop on, I feel like it might make you want to hop on as well. But at least like you can't lie about it. So like they're kind of stuck on, you know what I mean? Like it's either lie about it and say you're not say you aren't enhanced, or you're open about it. Then people like also want to like do what you're doing. So
Right.
it's kind of tough.
Yeah, I've struggled with that one for a while, because there are some people who are enhanced but just never talk about it, and then people will assume that person is natural.
Yeah.
And then I get asked about that person. I'm like, well, no, they're not natural, but they don't say anything about it, and it's this kind of like weird gray area where I'm like, well, if people think you're natural, but you're enhanced, should you be?
I think you should
openly,
clarify it. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think so.
See, that's where I stand.
Yeah.
Just because I'll get enough questions about the same person, where I'm like, no, they're enhanced, and most of their audience thinks that they are natural.
Yeah, I think you should clarify it so people aren't thinking that they can also achieve that naturally.
Right.
When you can't.
No, I agree with that.
Most likely can't.
I'm curious because I've been asked this before, and I had to think, and I kept thinking it over, and I couldn't think of a single example. Have you ever met someone who publicly claims natural, but you either know they are on a substance, or like they've told you or something like that?
That hasn't happened. No one has told me they were enhanced, but I have a few people in mind that I wouldn't be surprised if they got exposed one day.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and because I never want to slander anybody.
Yeah, no. And I'll never say that, but
right. But I've had people come up to me in Alpha Land before, and they talk to me, and I'm talking to them as just an individual. Like I couldn't care less about what their personal journey is.
Yeah.
And then they'll mention being natural,
it's like,
and I'm just like, bro, your shoulders are bigger than my entire upper body.
yeah.
Like I don't see where the disconnect is, where you think that I wonder if they have such severe body dysmorphia that they legitimately don't see themselves as mass monsters.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some pretty crazy things. There was one guy I was talking to. He was around my height, might have been an inch taller, so nothing crazy, about 5'10". Yeah. And he was like leanly, not like he was decently, like pretty close to stage leanness.
Yeah.
I asked him what his weight was. He said 230. I'm like, bro, you're huge. We keep talking, and then he says natural, and I'm like,
It's like, why? What's the point of lying?
yeah, I'm like 5'10", 230, single digit body fat. What are we doing here? No, it was one of the more insane conversations I've had.
It's just like secondhand embarrassment almost.
Right.
It's like,
No, I agree.
I don't know.
All right, pushing past that a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have an athletic background.
Yeah.
You played football. Do you play anything else in high school?
I played football, basketball, wrestling, and I did
dang.
track as well.
Dang,
I was
didn't,
only really decent at football. The rest I was kind of mid, but
I didn't realize you were. Okay, what do you do in track?
I was a sprinter, and then my senior year I threw shot put.
I was gonna say you have to do something strength related
Yeah,
at some
I actually
point.
wasn't good at shot put though.
Really?
Yeah, shot put's all technique, and
So you couldn't actually transfer the power into the.
I guess not. I was just straight up chucking it.
They just saw you squatting and they're like, you need to be a shot putter.
I guess 'cause I just slowly got bigger, and they're like, "You're not really a sprinter anymore."
That's funny. That's funny. What was the best time you ever got?
And my fastest 100-meter dash was an 11.9, and that was when I was a sophomore.
That's not bad for a sophomore.
I guess it's not bad, but yeah, eventually I just got slower. My 8th grade time was faster than my senior year time.
Oh,
because
really?
I just got bigger and
And you just couldn't,
slow.
you couldn't carry it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I guess.
No, you at some point the mass supersedes
Yeah.
the actual force production.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. But you did wrestling as well.
Yeah.
You weren't very good at wrestling.
No, I only did it for 2 years. So.
Okay.
And wrestling, you really just got to do it forever.
Yeah, no. Wrestling is an interesting one because
Yeah.
my dad, he wrestled all the way up, and he would explain to me how he was like decent at it. He would tell me some of his accolades, but he say that people who had been wrestling from the time they were like 5 years old were
Yeah.
just so much better
Yeah,
than the people who started in high school.
People assume I was good because I'm a little bigger, but I wasn't really not. I mean, I was decent, I guess, but I wasn't good.
Well, the other thing is, it's like at that point, does your size really matter because you're paired against other people who are the same size?
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's not like you are going to be going against somebody who's 140
Yeah.
pounds while you're 180.
Yeah, so no.
Now, wrestling I've always thought is super interesting, but I have no illusions about my fighting ability. Like you get some guys who are like kind of muscular and they might think that they know how to throw down.
Yeah.
Like you face somebody who actually is trained,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
you don't stand a chance.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd be great at fighting.
Okay. But you said you were pretty good at football.
I was pretty good at football.
Okay, so run me through that position, like what you like, why not go to college for it?
I did go to college for a
Oh,
year.
you did?
But I just dropped out. I just eventually stopped liking football. I mean, okay, so I was good in high school. I was on varsity as a freshman, which isn't like crazy considering 'cause my school was wasn't
Small.
like big, but it was decently sized, I guess. But
What school?
Charlotte High School in Michigan.
I
It's
just
near
because I
Lansing.
did some teaching in Michigan, I wasn't sure if I
Oh,
would know
really?
the school.
Yeah, it's by Lansing, but yeah. And then my senior year, I'd say my best like accolade. I led the state of Michigan in sacks as at the end. And then I played 1 year at Trine University, just a D3 school. I slowly just stopped liking football as much, and I started liking bodybuilding even more. And I just dropped out.
And you're like, no, I just want to get jacked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, no, I mean at some point, like I was not the exact same scenario, but I used to play soccer,
Yeah.
and people ask me all the time, "Do you miss it? Would you wish you were still?" I'm like, no, not really.
Yeah.
Like I kind of lost the
Yeah,
flame,
just, like, kinda
lost the
goes
fire
away.
for it. Yeah,
Kind of weird. I would never thought of that. I would have never thought it like it would go away.
right,
But
exactly. Because at some point, it's such a big part of your life.
Yeah.
But
crazy.
no, it's yeah, bigger and better things, right?
Yeah.
All right. What's one thing you would tell your younger self starting TikTok or Instagram, social media in general?
I would tell myself to start posting on Instagram sooner because
Really?
I waited
Yeah.
till I was at like I don't know like 50K to start going on Instagram.
Exact same thing for
I
me.
wish I just did it right away, and I wish I started talking to the camera more because like showing my personality more. That's pretty much it though. I feel like from the start I did pretty decent though.
Yeah, no, you did. I mean, and you had lots of other people who were coming to you, talking to you, and so like I feel like you developed, like you had a very good accepting mindset. Like whenever I would tell you about stuff, like you were like I could tell like you were thinking through it, implementing it, and like no, you're very very good at figuring out what is working
Yeah.
and leaning into it more and
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. I feel like I am too. Yeah.
No, you've done great, man. It's been
Thank
really
you.
cool to see.
Thank you.
All right. Finishing off, because we don't have any more time. This went by a lot faster than I
Yeah.
was expecting. If there's one thing that people have misunderstood about you or that you would want them to know about you, leaving off things, just Give me Dev in a flash.
I feel like people think that I'm gonna be like mean when they meet me, or like very like, I don't know the word, but
That you have like
Just-
an angry look.
yeah, or I don't know, or like stuck up. I think like when
Okay.
I first met Iron Unk, he thought that I would hate him. He said,
Really?
yeah, but when people actually get to know me, they say that I actually don't talk enough, that I'm just too quiet.
Dude, the first time when I lifted with you, I was like, dang, like
Yeah.
does this guy not like me, or are we just,
That's what
or is he just lifting and being?
Yeah, and I feel bad because I'm just quiet, and people think that it means I don't like them, but I'm just how I am.
Right.
So, and I feel like a lot of my posts are very like abrasive. I guess that's the word.
Well, it's
You
what
have to be
it's
that
what
way.
works on socials,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so people think that I'm gonna be like a mean person just because of my posts, like the way I word things. Like I'm very stern, I guess.
Okay.
But when you actually get to know me, like I'm quiet, and
Pretty chill.
nice. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, I would say.
Hey, no, it's there's always a side that you have on social, and people don't know exactly what that will look like in person. But guys, I can confirm, Dev, super good, genuine, kind
Yes,
man.
sir. Thank you.
Well, hey, it's been a pleasure. Oh, I don't want to hit the microphone.
Yes, sir.
We'll have to make it happen again.
Yes, sir.
As always, love you guys, appreciate you guys. TNF and
Dev.
out.